got a real treat tonight. I'm always trying to take the pulse of the stock market. So since we're here at the New York Stock Exchange, have you noticed the beating heart of global capitalism? Hey, why don't we go directly to the source? And that's why I'm thrilled to check in with our gracious host, Stacey Cunningham. She's the first ever female president of the New York Stock Exchange Group, which is a subsidiary of ICE, Intercontinental Exchange. A fantastic stock, by the way. Ms. Cunningham, welcome to Mad Money, and thank you for having us.
Thanks for having me, Jim. We're so excited to have Mad Money here right outside the NYSE.
Thank you so much, because this is just what I love to do it. Stacey, this is an exciting year. There's lots of listings, lots of unicorns coming public. I'm a big unicorn. Let's say I'm $10 million. Stacey, why should I list here and not on the other guy?
Well, Jim, you're right. I mean, it is an exciting year. The first half of this year has actually been the busiest half for IPO proceeds since 2007. So it's really been off to a strong start. And when we talk to companies about how we can help them be a public company, it really comes down to four things. One, how we trade their stock.
Okay.
So we're going to trade their stock with less volatility every day. That saves their investors money and saves them money. Two, we're going to put them among the world's greatest community of companies that exist anywhere, and we're going to give them opportunities to leverage that network.
Okay.
Three, we're going to use our brand and visibility platform to amplify theirs so they can get their message out to the street. And then four, we're going to give them a whole suite of services to make them a better public company. So those are the things that's just the role that the New York Stock Exchange will play. But for companies to come to the public markets, that means investors get access to them. And so that's another area of focus for me personally.
Okay, so we hear all that, and then we also, when I'm in my morning show, we see the floor. Where does the floor fit in those, when one of those or all of those four?
Yeah, so that comes to that first part, when I talked about the model and how we trade their stock. Our model is purpose-built to make sure that we can provide the best outcomes to the companies that are listed on the NYSE, and importantly, their investors, or anytime the company's trading their own stock. As we know, the power of the combination of people and technology is so much more than either one of them on their own. And so putting those things together in a meaningful way where we automate the parts of the job that can be automated, but still leave room for human judgment, means that our stocks trade with less volatility. If you look at the end of the year last year, when volatility picked up in the fourth quarter, spreads on NYSE-listed companies widened out by 40% less just in the S&P 100.
Oh, that's a great selling point. The one I thought that you would mention, it's all part of a piece. When I meet people who've listed, the most exciting thing that happens is the bell. They talk about the bell forever. It is a treasured element of capitalism.
It is. Becoming a public company is a milestone on a journey for so many leaders, and the bell really reflects that moment in time. It's a moment in time, though. It's exciting for me when we get to welcome them back to celebrate anniversaries, 40th anniversaries, 50th anniversaries, and in part when I talked about the brand and visibility of our platform, that's a way we can use that to help amplify their story and their message when they're celebrating successes along the way.
Okay, well, we're in a moment right now where we've got some trade talks that are just going okay. Let's put it that way. Largest stock on the New York Stock Exchange, Alibaba. It's one that I've been recommending because it's a fantastic company. What would happen if part of this whole fracas came down to the president saying, we don't want any more Chinese companies listing in America? Why would that be bad for capitalism?
I think when you look at the conversations around the trade negotiations, they're impacting businesses on a number of different fronts. And so we're optimistic that will come to a conclusion that is a positive outcome for all companies. But when the U.S. capital markets are the deepest in the world, so investors from all around the globe are looking to tap into them, and Alibaba was just one example of that.
Okay, and also I know you've got a deep background in governance. If you had your druthers, would you not have any companies that have two classes of stock? Because to some degree, it disenfranchises the regular people who watch Mad Money.
Well, would the regular people who watch Mad Money be disenfranchised if they had no opportunity to invest in those stocks in the first place? That's the question you need to ask yourself. If companies have access to capital outside of the public markets, and they do, that's their alternative. So the reason why we continue to support and talk about these issues is my driving principle is investors should have the right to choose where they want to invest their money. And if we keep them private, they lose that right.
It's a great answer. It's a great answer. It's thoughtful. One last thing. I look at your accomplishments, and I think, look, I was down on the floor in 1982. It tended to be a bit of a boys' club. You started from the bottom and worked all your way up. And I have a lot of people out there who I need to hear your story. Just tell me how it came. What's the art?
My story is I followed my passion. I love the markets. I love the business. And I went to do it, and I never stopped to think about whether or not I ought to.
You started as an intern.
An intern, yeah. I mean, when I was, in college, I was studying engineering, and I started on the trading floor, and I fell in love with the floor in about 15 minutes. So the rest is history.
Oh, that's a fantastic story. I want other people to realize everybody can move up.
Yes,
You're a fantastic example. I want to thank Stacey Cunningham, president of the New York Stock Exchange Group, who is, like me, an optimist.
Yeah.
Mad Money's back after the break.
Don't miss a second of Mad Money. Follow @JimCramer on Twitter. Have a question? Tweet Kramer. #MadTweets. Send Jim an email to madmoney@cnbc.com or give us a call at 1-800-743-CNBC. Miss something? Head to madmoney.cnbc.com.